There's the record. And you're good to go.
Hey, gang. Welcome to another show, another episode of Tales from the Barside. I'm your host, Remy. This is my lovely co-host, Lauren.
Hi.
And our good friend, Chrissy, is back. Yay. Good to see you again, Chrissy. What's going on?
Hey. I love you, Remy. Thanks for letting me be on the show. It was so much fun last time.
It was. And I told you you're welcome back anytime.
Anytime.
But we've got some cool, you got a cool little project that you've been working on. And so we wanted to help you promote it by coming on the show tonight. So let's get right into it and talk about what do you got coming up, Chrissy?
Yeah, so March 4th through the 7th, we are doing the official movie pop-up bar for Coming to America. So Coming to America 2 is coming out March 5th. It's premiering on Amazon. And so what we've done is we've taken a theater and created a space that's like the original Coming to America movie, where it's multiple different scenes. So it's like interactive, and there'll be food and drinks. It's going to be super fun. Each day has like a different schedule. We try to kind of do a little bit of everything for everyone. So March 3rd is actually our media day. So that's like a, invite only thing where we're inviting Detroit Press. You guys are invited, definitely. Thursday is the Miss Black Awareness pageant. So if you remember the top of the movie where Eddie Murphy actually meets Lisa, there's this pageant going on where the ladies are in swimsuits or whatever. And so we're pretty much recreating that.
That's awesome.
So yeah, I have a DJ Farrah Flor. Oh, I'm slandering her name. DJ Farrah Flossett is coming in from DC. She is an international DJ. She's coming in to DJ for us for that particular day. We also have T Barb, who's a local comedian. She'll be hosting the actual event. So it'll be a lot of fun. We're also live streaming it. I have a young lady, a journalist from Chicago, Sierra Nicole. She'll be coming in and, doing video and interviewing some of the businesses that we have involved.
That's awesome.
It's going to be a really good time. We're sponsored by Branson Cognac and Van Gogh Vodka for Thursday. It's going to be so much fun. $20 entry fee to get into the swimsuit competition. It's a $300 cash prize for the first winner. Second prize is a $100 cash prize as well. And then the third prize is a gift card to one of the stores that's on Fashion Avenue. Oh. So anybody that can enter, please enter. We need ladies. It's gonna be, it's gonna be such a great time. So
I'll bring my Speedo. How's that?
Yeah, do that. We have so we're gonna have models walking around. I'm working with a couple of swimsuit sponsors as well. So they'll have like their swimsuits kind of in the mix. So I mean, food, live DJ, ladies in swimsuits, and just like all around dope space. It's going to be such a great time. It's actually like my favorite day of the whole pop-up. So 9 to 2 a.m., the Grand Venue, which is on the corner of Grand River and Livernois. The Grand Venue is a space that it's like a set design warehouse. So the company that owns the Grand Venue also does set design for Cat Williams and Monica and BET, and just like a handful of like larger things. And so I'm pretty much working with them and doing the whole set design, but we're doing everything in their building. So we have this 60 by 60 huge room, which has a capacity of like 450 people. We're selling very, very limited tickets. We're selling about 100 tickets. And, there's lots of room for everyone to feel socially distant. I know that's like a thing. COVID is definitely a thing, for everybody to be concerned about. Me too. So, we ask everybody wear masks and, not be on top of each other unless you're with your friends. So, definitely.
That's really exciting. I would love to come out for that.
Yeah,
like a
please
fantastic
do.
event. And see, this is just proof that, like, if you put bartenders out of work for long enough, they're gonna come up with some cool things to do. Like, we get bored. We will find some cool things to do.
I've been trying to do this pop-up bar for a while now. Last year when Coming to America was actually supposed to be released in theaters, I was trying to do this back then, but then of course COVID changed all of that. So originally they were supposed to be in theaters and now they're doing Amazon. So, it's changed. COVID has changed that whole dynamic. So outside of Thursday, the March 4th, we have we're premiering Coming to America 2 on a large screen. So we've taken the space and turned it to like a movie theater style where you have seats, you'll be comfortable, and then there'll be a large screen where we're actually showing the movie. So it'll be the movie premiere on March 5th. And then on Saturday and Sunday, March 6th and 7th, they're like exhibit days. And if you want to think of it like a Coming to America museum, essentially you come in, you have an hour and a half block to be there. There is a live dance performance. Your ticket includes food and drink, and then you'll be in the space taking pictures and hanging out. You know, it'd be a good time for people to bring their children, super duper family friendly, you know, something to do on Saturday and Sunday in Detroit. I think it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, that's amazing. And how much are tickets and where can they buy them?
So you can buy them online. It's comingtoamerica.shopify.com. Each day has a different schedule. Like for example, Thursday, it's $60. That includes 2 drinks and food. On Tuesday, it's $50 ticket that includes drink and food as well. And then on Saturday and Sunday, there are $45 tickets for the hour and a half that includes live African dance performance, food and drink as well. And we're doing discounts for groups, and we're also doing discounts for children. If you like to bring their kids, just have people email me at c2apopupdetroit.com@gmail. And you know, you'll be able to communicate with me, and we can work out a group rate and/or discount for the children.
Perfect.
Nice.
That sounds like a lot of fun. That's something right up my alley. I would love to come to that. So you know, expect to see me there.
Yes, please come. I was really shocked as I'm telling people about the event. There's so many people who have actually not watched Coming to America, the original movie.
What?
Right? Exactly.
That's
how I felt. I
haven't seen it in
a
long time, but I've definitely seen it.
Like, it is like one of my favorite movies. I've seen it probably like 200 times. Like everyone knows the royal penis is clean, Your Highness.
Right. Like,
come on. Bark like a dog.
Exactly. I think one of our cocktails is going to be called Bark Like a Dog.
That's awesome.
Nice. Yeah, we're super duper excited. And inside the space, we'll have a McDowell's food court. There'll be the scene where, do you guys remember where they transformed their apartment into like the jacuzzi, like from the poor to rich thing? We literally been painting a jacuzzi, and we're adding a fog machine to it, and we're recreating that whole scene as well. Nice. And then we have like a large Zamunda wall of grass and animals and props where people can take pictures and, you know, post to Instagram, let them know what's going on for the weekend. So I'm really excited. Idea. Like it's such a big project. I think it's the biggest thing I've done till date. And you know, I can't even really like allocate any more energy to anything right now. It's just kind of like this project has been like on my mind. This is what I do all day, every day, pretty much like 9 to 9, you know, like just working endlessly just to make sure everything in the background is all set. So
that's great though. When you get involved in a project like that, that's obviously like, it sounds like it started off as an idea and then it started growing and it got bigger and you started putting all the pieces together and then you can add things to it. It's like, that is a lot of work. That's a big undertaking. How many people do you have involved with it right now?
So there's 5 of us. So I'm pretty much kind of the director, the person, you know, overseeing everything. And then I have a day of coordinator, an assistant. Her name is Christina Walker. She's amazing. She does this for a living. She assists people with events. And so she's been extremely helpful, just like with helping me navigate the media and all that kind of stuff. I have Dominique McCullen. He is the curator for the Live Waves app. And so he's helping us with like the live streaming portion and bringing in the journalists and making sure that we have the live stream. And then we have Ryan Ellie Salter from Salt & Co. He's pretty much our kitchen manager. He's the one doing all the food, all of that. That's totally his lane. And then I have Kay Muhammad of Cocktails and Glam, and she's doing our beverage program.
That's so great. And
you got all your aces
only
in
have
place.
5 people doing this. It sounds like it's a lot for 5 people to do.
Yeah, I mean, it's like we're all managing, you know, every day is something new, a new discovery, a new thing that has to happen. So, I mean, in the meantime, you know, we're hiring for security guards. We're still looking for vendors, and there's all kinds of things in the background that we're, you know, still searching for. So if any businesses want some visibility in front of the Detroit media or Michigan media, the March 3rd actually has an opening for a booth. So if anybody wants to do some marketing or tell the media about their business, it's a perfect opportunity for that. So we're doing booths for that day. And then each other day has a vendor attached as well. So I have my vendor spots for actually Saturday and Sunday are pretty open. I think I have a couple of slots to fill. So if anybody wants to come and actually sell stuff between 12 and 9 o'clock, it's a really long day, but there'll be people there with their families and people drinking and enjoying themselves. So that would be a lot of buying opportunity. We took part of the space and turned it into a call it the international market. So we have like a little corridor, like the gift shop for the actual event. So we'll have local vendors, and not necessarily like coming to America themed things, but there'll be local vendors there having their product.
Sure, just whatever people are selling.
Right.
That's
exactly.
really cool. I am definitely interested in that. How long does it take to put together something like that, to coordinate something that large?
Oh, that's a large question. So by this being the first thing the largest thing that I've done, I've been plotting to do this since probably November. And it just took me time to figure out what was happening with actually Coming to America movie. And so I had to reach out to Paramount Pictures to ask them if I was even able to do this. So that was a whole thing in itself. And I reached out to them over Christmas, and I got this email like, oh, we're out of the office, blah, 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 blah. So I didn't hear back from them until probably mid-January when they finally told me that, yes, it's okay. You can do it as long as I can't put Eddie Murphy's face on anything. Like I can't put McDowell's anywhere, stuff like that. I can't take any intellectual property from the movie, but I can decorate a space as if it were like Coming to America. So I started kind of going hard with all the plans like mid-January. So it was actually, I feel like kind of on the last minute, more than how I would like to do things, but I already had it set in my head how I wanted things to be. And the set design team at the Grand Venue has just been like so helpful with everything. They've just been, working around the clock to make sure we have grass walls and giant animals and, a royal throne and, all that jazz.
Amazing.
So yeah, it takes quite a bit. I would definitely say like, there are times where I'm like, oh my God, am I still going to do this event? What's going to happen? Like, just like waiting for people's phone calls and just like the up and down, which is like, being an entrepreneur has definitely like hit a little harder on this particular event just because it's so big.
I also want to know like how long you've been like doing these events and how you got into doing them like at all. I don't even know how you would start
that. Back when I was in DC, I did some sales management where I worked at a wedding venue. And I did catering sales for Bar Louie. So I had that sales background. And then I started to go back to school. So I went back to bartending versus like a 9 to 5. And I was working at this nightclub where, it was like the hot spot or whatever. And I started guest bartending at other nightclubs because I worked at that place. And my first shift guest bartending, I brought out 90 people. And it was more people than the actual promotion group that was hired to take rain that night. And so I was just kind of introduced into a circle of people who were like doing events and stuff like that. And they were like, Chrissy, you should totally start a brand. You need to do this. You have the power, blah, blah, blah. And so, I already had this event planning background. And then being introduced to that circle of people, they showed me the ropes and like how to get liquor sponsors and how to get sponsors for your event, how to put them on, how to hire the right people, all that jazz. And so, I can say that I've probably been doing events on my own since 2017, maybe 2016, I believe. So this is my second way of going into this. My first brand was called Shake and Strain, where we did I guess bartending stuff, and then we did like a lot of industry parties, and we used to do a lot of event staffing and stuff like that. So everything that I'm doing now is actually kind of new in Detroit, and I'm just ready to bring some cool things for us to do. Yeah.
I love it. People have been missing cool stuff to do for a really long time. I think this is a great idea for that, because like you said, it's a place that holds about 400, but if you're only going to sell 100 tickets, people can still feel that socially distanced. People can still wear their masks, and it's still like people have been fiending for stuff to do. Like all the bars have been shut down for so long, and there's no nightlife, and there's nothing going on, no events and no nothing. So I think it's a fantastic way to kind of like kick off, like, okay, we can do something now, like let's get open. Did you have to get with the state to find out if like your capacity is all that good, or are you just going by their guidelines and stuff.
I'm going by their guidelines. I mean, and it's 25%, which would be 125 for the space. So I just stuck it at 100 because I know there'll be staff there. It'll probably be like at least like, bartenders and swimsuit models and all that kind of stuff. Like there are other people who are going to be in the building too. So.
Okay. Cool. Well, that sounds smart.
And a lot of that stuff isn't necessarily clear anyway. Like if you call them, they'll be like, we don't know. You just kind of have to interpret it,
Yeah, check the website.
Right. Well, they said no groups over 100 is the goal. So I'm sticking with that number. I'm definitely making this COVID proof as much as possible. Like for our 1.5 hour blocks, I'm only selling 50 tickets per block. We're not even packing out the place. Like I'm not trying to pack out the place. And, I'm not trying to do this necessarily to make money from. I just want to have something fun. And, Coming to America is one of my favorite movies. So I just felt like it was only right to just like, pay ode to the sequel.
It's a classic.
Yeah, it definitely is a classic. Yeah,
every time it's on, I'm like, we gotta stop and watch it. It's so funny.
Right. And I bought it on Amazon recently, probably about a month ago, and I've just been studying. Like I'll sit and like write notes and like, I don't even think I saw Zamunda until I watched it again. Like I think it just kind of went over my head. I didn't realize it was like all grassy and tropical. Like I didn't know there were palm trees. So I'm like, okay, well, I'll talk to my set design people. Like, hey, can we get some palm trees?
Right.
So it's definitely all of that. So
yeah, now it's given you like a little bit more of like a fandom where you're like now you're like analyzing every scene.
Certainly, I definitely think Coming to America is one of those fandom movies where people are just they have their allegiance to Coming to America. So I just felt like it was right. So I know this is the first movie pop up for Detroit, pop-up bar for Detroit. So I'm just I hope it does well. Hope it's well received, and hopefully we can do more of these things in the future. Hopefully it'll set the tone for us to create more movie stuff. They're always
we will definitely help you to promote that. We'll take all of your websites and stuff and post them on our site as well. So if anyone's interested buying tickets or wants to contact you or anything like that, we'll have all of that on our Facebook afterwards.
Great. Thank you so much. Yeah, man. And it's been a voyage. I mean, just like trying to employ people, like I know a lot of bartenders are out of work. So I have a system where I'm like, okay, well, I need like 10 bartenders right now. I have all these shifts that I have to cover. So, just trying to navigate getting the right staff in. Like I'm still actually looking for a security team. So, I know people are really funny with COVID and I totally understand that because I'm not working for a reason as well. So, but just trying to get everybody in, that's like been a whole voyage too. Cause that's like one of the things that kind of relies on my shoulder is just making sure, it's organized in that way.
Yeah. And that there's like people there to actually perform the jobs,
Right.
And that's hard, especially with COVID and everything. It's like, even if people are, not necessarily working the amount of hours that they used to be, they might also be denying work if they don't feel safe. And it's just like, I get that that's like a personal choice for them. And so it must be hard to try and find people to come in and work, especially
that's a
like
hard
that
thing
many
to
hours
do.
and stuff, an event.
That's a hard thing to do, to staff an event like that in the best of times.
In the best of times, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Is like, and then now you have something on top of it. It must have been very difficult.
Yeah, no, it has not been an easy voyage, but we're making it work. We're about 3 weeks out and all the moving parts are now finally starting to come to a close. So now I'm at the point to where I'm ready to start doing some more branding stuff. So like on our to-go food bags, we're not going to have Coming to America, be Coming to Detroit pop-up bar. So now I'm in the process of like designing the logo and getting the stickers printed and making sure that's done. We're going to print them on the actual like to-go boxes, so I'll have like a little fry box, and then you'll have the sticker on the fry box.
So cute.
Yeah, we're super excited. Like I was thinking about, I'm like, do we dress the food staff in like the McDonald's uniforms? I was just talking to my caterer the other day. I'm like, do we do this? So
that would be so funny. Oh my god.
Right? I thought it would be really cute, just like to add more to it.
There's like so many things you could do, like. I wouldn't even know where to stop with the ideas because I would probably just like be like, I want to do everything,
Great. Well, we have girls throwing rose petals when you enter on Saturday and Sunday. Like as soon as you walk in the door, you get like red and pink rose petals thrown at you.
Nice.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So it's just like all those little things. To me, it's fun,
Yeah, it's the little details that make it like, Okay, yeah, that's exactly what it is. Coming to America.
Coming to America, exactly. Or coming to Detroit,
Coming to Detroit.
Right, coming to Detroit. So, we're making it work. I'm really excited. I'm so excited for this event. Every day I dream about it. I'm like, how's it going to be? And, of course I have nightmares too. I'm like, oh my God, is it going to be, like, is this going to be successful? Like, I don't have a choice but it to be. So
it has to be, yeah.
It has to
anxiety going through the roof. Well, so I've got a little experience in doing stuff like that similar. The weekend that my son was born, actually, he's 10 now, going to be 11. I was the manager for somebody who was putting on an event where they were throwing a party on the top of a parking garage on the Detroit River to watch the Red Bull air races when they came through town in 2010. And so I had to hire a bunch of people and get a bunch of booze and get a bunch of ice machines and figure out how we were going to do it all up on the top of this parking structure downtown Detroit, and get all the permits and work with all these people and stuff. There's a lot that goes into it, planning events like this behind the scenes that until you've done it, you have no idea. And like I was green. I had a friend of mine who hired me to be this kind of coordinator manager type and do some things for him. But it was there was no real distinct job description involved in it. It was just kind of all right, now you got to do this and now you got to do that. And you're just kind of going to be my right hand man and for this and that. And I'm like, okay. And then, oh yeah, I'm having a baby, not me personally, but my son was being born and we didn't live downtown Detroit at the time. So I had to drive 45 minutes back and forth while the event was going on because she was going into labor. That was
oh my God.
that was some shit that I'll never forget.
Wow.
But it was cute. Did you guys ever see the movie Big Fish?
Oh yeah.
Big Fish with his dad tells all the tall tales and stuff like that. When my kid was little, I'd tell him the story. I was like, did I ever tell you the story about how you were born? And I was I was doing this event for the Red Bull air races and I had to go back and forth and we thought you were coming. So I had to get in one of the planes and have one of the pilots fly me all the way back to the hospital super fast.
Love that. I love that.
It was cute. Wasn't so much a lie as it was just telling a good tall tale.
Man, I've had experiences so when I was doing wedding planning, it was never the bride or the groom, it was the parents that were always the hard people to deal with. So I used to sneak downstairs. We used to have a wine cellar or whatever. We keep all of our liquor and stuff. I used to go downstairs and drink. I was so stressed out.
I would too.
Yeah, I would go take a shot. I'm okay, before the event, just so they don't stress me out. They would come to the venue early. So during the day we used to moonlight as a coffee shop. So it's a whole different scenario or whatever, and then at night we would transform into this beautiful wedding venue. And we really did do weddings very well. They were super, they were great. We had all these grapevines hanging from the building, and it was the secret garden, if you want to say. That was our theme. And nice. They would come early and they'd look around are you going to do this? Are you going to do that? I'm look, it's going to be everything that you want it to be. Please just give me some space to breathe. So whenever the anxiety would hit, I'm okay, I'm just going to take a shot real quick, come back.
And then they don't even realize that when they go out there and start, when the wedding actually starts, they're not paying attention to all that bullshit anyway. You know what I mean? All those little tiny details that they're it has to be this way. You're going to be happy no matter what. You're going to be super happy. So,
yeah, weddings are weird.
Weddings are weird doing your job,
Weddings are very, very weird.
Very weird gig. I did one as a photographer and it was really cool and it was fun. And the people that hired me to do it loved me and had me on their bus and we were doing drinks together and we took a lot of great pictures and it was a lot of fun and everything went off without a hitch. And it was the first wedding I had ever photographed by myself, no helpers. I'm these are your guys' wedding pictures. If I screw this up, it's going to suck. But I didn't screw it up. Then I hired on very briefly. I did one wedding with a DJ and that was not for me. I was no. This is not my cup of tea. I'm not a wedding DJ guy, cannot do it. And it was a disastrous wedding. The groom's mother made the bride cry on her wedding day.
No way.
Sobbing. Told her she was you're be part of this family and nobody likes you. And it was awful. I was just like, oh, this gave me such a bad vibe. I'm never coming back. And then I bartended a friend's wedding or a friend's daughter's wedding, and that was an absolute riot. Like, bartending a wedding is a lot more my style.
That's a lot more fun.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. I bartended most of my friends' wedding. They were like, hey, I'm like, yeah, I'll just do it for free just because, like,
Oh, put the tip jar out there,
Of course. I don't know. I mean, you can make sure you make some money, But yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You can make a lot of money if if they're actually going to pay you too, and you have a tip jar out there.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Good
Absolutely.
money.
Oh yeah, we had the guy who came up and was, he's like, all right, first of all, before I order my first drink, and like puts a 50 in the jar. You're like, all right, that's my guy.
Right.
Like,
right.
I'm gonna
make sure his drink's got a 3-ounce pour.
Gonna remember what you had all night long, no problem.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. People have to realize sometimes those tips are memorable. Not to encourage people to tip for a hookup or anything like that, but a lot of times, at least when I was bartending, I would remember all my good tippers.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I want that same tip every time.
Take care of you.
Right, so I'm always going to take care of them and make sure that they're. And sometimes they don't always tip the same way, which is totally cool too.
Yeah, that's cool too. But I remember that you did that one time, and I'm going to keep working towards getting that again.
Absolutely.
I mean, if somebody puts a Grant or a Benjamin in the tip jar, I'm not going to expect that every time they come up, obviously.
No.
But if you do it right off the bat and say, like, hey, remember me, like, I'm going to remember you. I'm going to have your drink ready for you by the time you get up to me. Those are usually the people that want to chat with you for a while too, and hang out and be cool. And, it's like, yeah.
I've never really had to do corporate event bartending or anything like that, something where it's like somebody's wedding or anything like that, but I've had to do some opening day or St. Patrick's Day parade and stuff like that, where it's a really long, hard day, but I'm probably going to be drunk by the end of it.
Right. Definitely that. I think I worked opening day one year for the Tigers and at Punch Bowl. And they weren't staffed. I think people called out. I think it was all these people who called. It was usually 3 bartenders in the morning, and I was the only one who actually showed up. Oof. And yeah, man, and I was pregnant. Oh my god. I was so exhausted. I mean, I think I made $600 that shift or something like that. It was insane for a morning shift. It was totally worth it, but I was pregnant and tired, and my stomach was hitting the bottles and all this kind of stuff. Night. Oh my god. Sorry, my daughter's saying good night. Hey, you guys want to see her? You want to see Simone?
Yeah, of course we do.
Yeah, look at this little baby.
Oh my god.
My god. Hi, sweetie.
Hi. Hey. Say hi. You not gonna say hi?
So cute.
She's shy, and that's okay. You're allowed to be shy, sweetheart.
Yeah, you are. Mm-hmm.
I hope you make the sweetest dreams tonight, though.
Yeah, it's time for her to go to bed. It's about 8:30 is usually her bedtime. There you go, Stinky. Bye. Bye, Pinky.
Absolutely love it.
Yeah, that's my favorite lady right now. Always will be my favorite lady. Love her so much. Didn't know what it was like to be a parent until I finally did it. And I feel so bad funny.
People tell you that all the time before you have kids, and then you wake up with a kid one day and you're like, oh my god, they were right. You have no idea.
Man. I feel bad for pressuring some of my friends who had kids before me. They couldn't go out with me and stuff. I'm like, yeah, I bet you can. You can't really all the time. I mean, I think I go out twice a month. That's typically my quota, because after that I feel guilty. So,
gotta hold it down.
That. Yeah, definitely gotta.
Fur babies are different. Fur babies
can't be hungover. Yeah, can't be hungover to take care of her the next day.
No. Hangovers and kids don't mix.
No, it definitely has happened, and it sucks. So I'm like, okay, yeah.
I've only ever had to hangover and babysit. Right.
Yeah, so, that's enough, right?
Yeah. And after that, I was like, I'm never doing this again.
Right.
Whoops. Yeah. Sorry, I'm practically drunk watching your kids, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think that I knew I was gonna have children. I guess I just didn't know when. And she kind of popped up, and it was just kind of like, all right, well, let's just do this shit. Fuck it, So You know, it all worked out well. I mean, I can only imagine doing this alone. You know, it's already hard enough doing it with another person. So, you know, I'm really thankful for my husband and just, you know, him being here and being supportive, you know, because I work like on the other side of the world. Like you know, I feel like I work in the evenings most of the time, or like that's when I'm kind of like out in the world. And you know, he has a 9 to 5. So we try and come together and make it, you know, make the right schedule for the two of us. So you know, and then having a kid in the mix is just like, okay, you know, trying to make sure everything is all set. So
and you just have one?
Yeah. We plan on having a second one, but just like when she's actually in like kindergarten, maybe like 2 or 3 years. I don't know, when do kids start kindergarten? Like 6 or something, 5 or 6?
5, I think.
5, yeah. Yeah, so when she's about 5 or something like that, so we plan on having another one.
That's nice. Oh, how old is she now?
She's 1.
Aw,
yeah,
little baby.
So.
Oh my God.
Yeah, man, it's my little tink. She's so cute. I
love kids, but I'm like petrified of ever being pregnant or like giving birth. So I'm just like, I'm gonna be a fantastic stepmom one day.
Don't be scared. Trust me, I was scared too. But then you know, you do. You know, your body's used to it. Your body's made for this.
Made for that, right?
Yeah. So it's kind of like, you know, you just listen to what your body tells you to do it, and you know, it comes out the way it's supposed to. So, you know, my little tink, love her to death.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah, man, love children. I was always the babysitter in the neighborhood. Like I was always the one with like 10 kids. You see me at the park with 10 other children. Like like from 14
watching
to 18.
Kids left or right. Hey, you have a kid? You want me to watch it?
Yeah, that's how I made my money when I was a teenager. I remember at some point I had some like, you guys remember Virgin Mobile?
Oh yeah.
Yep. I had one of those like slide phones when it first came out. Like and everyone's like, "Oh, you got this sweet phone," but like I worked so hard. Like I was always babysitting. Like I couldn't go places. I'm like, "Oh, I got the kids tonight," you know, like an adult or whatever. You know, I
that's good though. Probably
hard.
kept you out of a little bit of trouble.
Oh, definitely.
Taught you a lot about like responsibility, and if you've got all those people that trust you with their kids, you had to be doing something right and showing them responsibility. Like you can't drop the ball because that just destroys your whole gig, you know, like
right.
Yeah, that's cool.
I definitely made it work the best way I could, you know, I think I was like 14 to 18. And, you know, you learn as you get older. And
any crazy stories about the kids acting wild?
Oh man, they were always wild. They were like when they got to me, like they thought they could just like run all over me, and like my mommy lets me eat French fries for dinner, you know, like okay, you know,
hair stuff I haven't spoken to your mom before.
Right, exactly. Oh, that bottle, like I remember this one kid that told me his parents allowed him to drink the Grey Goose. Like, no, dog. Oh, like mommy and daddy let me drink that up there. Like, I guess, you know, I'm sure they put it in the high cabinet to keep him away from it.
Because you're allowed to have it whenever you want.
Right. So it's just really funny. Like kids will always try and like get away with what they think they can, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And they will always tear things up or like knock something over, or you know, I think my worst thing was when like they would tell me a designated bedtime, and 9 times out of 10 the parents will get back maybe like an hour or 2 hours like after their bedtime, and the kids will like rush to the door when the parents would come in, and it's like, you guys make me look like I'm not doing my job. Go to bed, please. Go to bed. So you know, but I was also like the cool babysitter. Like if there was a movie we were watching and it went over to their bedtime, I'm like, okay, you guys can have like another 30 minutes to finish the movie, but you have to go to sleep afterwards. And like they would always end up running to their parents like, oh, could you let us stay up early or later? And you know,
oh my God, why?
Right. I'm like,
why don't you do it anymore? Because you're forcing me to like look shitty.
Right.
Thanks a lot, kids.
Don't ruin the good thing. I actually had some experience babysitting as well. I was like 14, and some neighbors across the street had 3 little kids, and they were angels, like perfectly good kids, never had any problem with them. The parents were super cool. They're like, you know, they've already been fed. We're just going out to like dinner and a movie. We just want to get away for a little while. They were young parents with 3 kids, but like, you know, like they had them pretty early and all in succession. They were all around the same age. So it was like they'd never stay out super late, they never came home drunk or anything like that, the parents, but it was a good experience. It was fun. Like, I highly recommend it for teenagers out there. We've got so many teenagers listening to our show, I know. We'll probably have people who have teenagers who are listening to the show.
For real.
Right.
That's what it really is.
But no, it was fun. Lauren, did you babysit too a little bit?
I babysat for a while, a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old, and they would pull them over on me all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Every time.
They definitely try.
I'd be like, I'm going to be strong this time. And when they ask me for something and I know that they shouldn't have it, I'm going to say no, because they do not need a popsicle after a chocolate bar, after caramel popcorn and, like all this stuff. They don't need it. And then every single time they'd just be like looking at me like, but we love you so much. And I'm like, okay, you can have the thing. Like, they get me every time. The only thing that I feel bad about is when I would have to change diapers, I gag sometimes. And so the little kid I was watching would start going like, bleh, every time that I was like around him. And he started doing it to his mom. And she's like, what are you doing? And he was just mimicking me gagging.
Yep, kids will do that. You have to be so careful about what you do or say around children. They will definitely try and mimic stuff.
For real.
And sometimes they pick up things you're like, where did you learn that from? Like, my daughter has been smacking me. I'm like, okay, she doesn't see me beating up her dad. So,
right.
Right. At least she doesn't see it, But I don't know. I don't know where she got that from. Like, hey man, where did you get that? So, kids are funny that way.
Don't hit me. Like,
right, don't hit me. They're just they find so many different ways to like express themselves, And you're like, okay, where'd this new behavior come from? But you manage. So now when she smacks me, I'm like, soft.
Yeah.
Softer. So, that no more smacking.
Well, it's fun learning all those parenting techniques on the fly too, because it's like you have an idea of the kind of parent you want to be in your head, and then they arrive and you're like, oh, this is way different. Like this isn't what I expected. So like stuff comes up that you didn't think about, and you have to make a decision right then and there. Like, all right, how are we going to deal with this? Like, not prepared for it, but we just do the best we can and love them.
Right. Yeah, I love my little teen. I had a friend of mine. He was telling me how he had a kind of a tumultuous childhood, and he's like, "Yeah, man, I think my mom hates me." And just like, being a mom, I'm like, you never hate your kids. You might not like the things that they do, but you'll always love your child. That'll never change. Like, the child, it comes from you. It's a piece of you. So, all that like, oh, my mom hates me or whatever. No parent hates their children. They don't dislike the things or choices you make sometimes, but they'll still be here. I don't, if my daughter were to ever, she can't become a serial killer or like a prison ward or something like that. Like, nah, you can't own a prison or any of that, terrible shit. But, she can do whatever she wants, as long as it's on the side of right,
Sure.
And I was a terrible teenager. Oh my God. I was like the kid putting pillows and stuff under my blankets and jumping out the window. I was so bad.
Oh, yeah, same.
I was awful. And I know that I'm probably gonna experience a little bit of that too. So it's like waiting for that moment, like when she tries to terrorize me or just, I hate
you got
you,
plenty
Mom.
of time.
Yeah, it goes by so fast. I mean, I didn't realize that I had known you for, almost 2 years now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, right. It just felt like it just like went like that. I'm like, Jesus, she's almost 1. I was at Punch Bowl when I was pregnant. So it's been almost 2 years,
Yeah. Punch Bowl.
Yeah, they're not open. They're not reopening. They're not.
Nah, I didn't think they would. I was unceremoniously.
What do you mean, like they're closing down for good or what?
Anyway. Oh yeah, they never opened back up. Yeah.
This, I think, is just this store though. I don't think, because I think the rest of them are still open. I still have tabs on. I still am friends with some of the people from the other stores around the states.
I can hear you guys.
And I believe that they're just closing their smaller stores or like the states where they had like harder mandates.
Yeah.
Because Atlanta is like wide open.
Oh, okay.
And one of our mutual friends, actually, he moved down to Atlanta and started working with them.
Oh,
so
makes sense.
Yeah. So I think it's a Michigan thing, to be honest. Why they probably didn't I think and their training program is so intensive, and then they had to rehire a whole new staff, and that's like the staff is like 100 people or something. Like their staff roster was always super duper long.
It was insane.
Yeah, it was insane. So I don't think that they could get like a formal training done in enough time, and then like of course like just like the up and down with the coronavirus. Sometimes you open, sometimes you couldn't, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so. It wasn't worth it financially for them to do that, and that makes sense.
So they're just going to close permanently then?
Yeah, I believe so.
No more Detroit Star, which is fine because like they built those bars completely ass backwards anyways. Those are the worst bars I've ever seen built in my life, and I've worked at lots of different bars.
I don't think corporations do super duper well in Detroit. I feel like it's like a mom and pop, smaller.
I think that Detroit and like a lot of the surrounding areas are mostly like local small name businesses. Yeah. I mean, there are some obvious like big corporations like Target and shit like that, and like Whole Foods and whatever. But essentially downtown is mostly just like kind of pop up. They just like come out of the woodwork. They either work or they don't.
Right. The one that I was really surprised about is like the B-Dubs downtown Detroit has done pretty well, and apparently it's run by a really cool franchise. Probably not the one that I worked for because I hated them.
That's great, but why would you have that when you have Sweetwater right down the street?
I completely agree. I'm definitely down with Sweetwater wings all day, but I've heard good things about the people that I know that work at the B-Dubs downtown. The Hard Rock was really cool downtown. I worked there for a while, and it was great. It was like banging when it first opened, and then just kind of slowly fell off until once they had a sweetheart lease, and once they tried to get them to renew it, they were going to jack it up, and by then like the luster had worn off, so it was kind of a no-brainer to close that. But yeah, you're right. The big corporations, it's not what downtown Detroit's all about. They'd rather the people would rather go to a place that's locally owned.
Right. I totally agree. I think in time more corporations will come here as the area it's changing. Detroit's definitely turning into a different place than where it was 5 years ago. I mean, it's different from me moving here 2 years ago. It's like already changed in that way. But
well, I lived there 20 years ago is when I moved downtown. So like over 20 years ago is when I was first down there. I saw it change from like it was real bad to around Super Bowl era, and then it changed after that too. Because when we had the Super Bowl, things were pretty hot. It was like up and coming. We're doing stuff. We're building new skyscrapers. Like, check this out. And then Kwame went to jail, and all the fun was over.
Yeah, Kwame's free. How do you guys feel about that? I mean, I didn't live here when it went down to the gutter, but
honestly, here's my thing. Like, he got caught doing a bunch of corrupt shit, and there were stories about like how he was responsible for some really horrible stuff. And I'm just like, I don't know the man, and I can't say whether like he deserves to live his life in prison or 20 years or 15 years or like whatever. I know that he left a really nasty mark on the city because people really trusted him, and they looked at him, that people looked up to him. Like, he was the hip hop mayor. Like, everybody loved him. And then all this corruption shit came out, and he got sentenced for it. Like, he was found guilty. So I try not to weigh in too much on stuff like that. Like, I don't really hate him because he didn't do anything personally to me. But, when you do the crime, you're supposed to do the time. And if you get caught doing all kinds of shady stuff where you're like funneling money places it shouldn't be going, corruption and greed, that's the kind of thing I don't really like seeing people get away with. So I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, well, I definitely think he took some time and ruined some people's lives because people's their like retirement income is gone. He's pensions and so I like I said, I wasn't here for when it all went down, but Donald Trump was selling pardons. That's what we like. That's what I like to believe. I think like if you had a couple million or whatever, I think Donald Trump was giving them out to people. If you had somebody to help him set up his life after this whole presidential shit, like because Lil Wayne got one, he got one.
Right. And it's like, how did he know these people, and why did he have an interest in helping them out?
Yeah, Lil Wayne got one. He got his
Lil Wayne and
Kodak Black. They all had gun charges.
Yeah.
Right. It's like, how do you know these people even?
Well, I mean, I guess if you're in the industry. Right. Yeah, well, I have a feeling that they paid a couple $1 million. So there are other people. There's multiple people that that got them. Yeah. It just wasn't like, dude, I'm so happy Trump is gone.
I wouldn't mind seeing him end up in prison. I think that'd be a good place for him.
Yeah, I doubt he'll ever will though. They never do. Yeah, no, they never do. I just wish they would just like get him out the media. Yeah, I just wish they would stop talking about him and just let him be and just like move on, because
let him just disappear into nothingness. Because
that's really what it is at this point. Yeah, it's all about like, just quit saying his name, just quit talking about him, and like
that's what he wants.
He's still got a lot of supporters out there, and hey, if that's who if you choose to still be a supporter of him, good for you.
Right, exactly. I'm not
gonna waste my breath or time trying to like defend my position on him. Like, if you can't see it by now, there's no hope for you.
Right. I don't have any direct friends that are Trump supporters. But I know some people I went to high school with, like I see them on Facebook. I'm not demonizing people necessarily for being a supporter, but he's definitely not somebody that I think it's a moral thing. Like, if you don't see this fuckhead and all the fuck shit he's doing.
Right. If you can't see that he's morally bankrupt completely, then I don't know. And some people think he's the best thing since sliced bread, including family members of mine. But hey, what are you gonna do? Like,
I look forward to when Melania actually writes a book, when she's finally free.
I think he's gonna die first.
Yeah, he's gonna die first, because she's
gonna fucking sell a book.
She might. I don't think she needs to.
The world is awaiting to hear the truth.
Yeah, I want to hear.
I will read her book.
Why you guys hate each other so much?
Right.
Definitely read her book. She, we'll see. She had renegotiated her prenup like right before the election or whatever, because I think she was trying to escape then. And then
she didn't want to be first lady. She was not into it at all.
No, I didn't think she was at all.
She wasn't a very good first lady.
No, she definitely wasn't.
There's been many before. Yeah, right, exactly.
Did she do anything?
Not all of the usual first lady stuff.
Right, and she had this whole like no bullying campaign, where she was headlining that, and then go around the states and doing the whole new bullying thing. But I think that's all I know of that I can pull a tab on that she did.
Yeah.
And I don't think it resonated.
Like, stop making fun of my husband.
Right. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. She didn't look like she was happy. She definitely.
No, she looked like she was miserable the entire fucking time, and everyone was talking about her like she was having a great time.
Right. Like, no, I hear Donald Trump is gross too. My sister was.
Her be like, and then as soon as he turns away, she's like, like, come on. She's going.
I always like the one where he tries to hold her hand and she slaps it away. That one always got me. Yeah, like, no, I don't know. Don't want to touch your hand. Gross.
Right. Oh, it's so funny. Like, back in the day,
no one wants to touch his hand except for my grandma.
We did an event with Stormy Daniels back in his inauguration. We had this inauguration party where she was dancing at a strip club and stuff. And it worked really, really well. We had like 5 different paint models, and we wrote like Stormy over hate or whatever. Trump loves hate, and just like, ode to like what she went through and just like how he vilified her, over the media. So we did this whole thing to like, show her that she has supporters and love and fans.
You had Stormy Daniels there?
Yeah, she performed. It was back in DC. It was a strip club. It was like their opening night. The inauguration night was their opening night. So we did this whole thing where we had Stormy Daniels as like the headliner, and then we had different body paint models, and then we did murals for just to show that she still loved. We also care about her. And it was fun. We had a lot of her fans came. They were dressed up as Donald Trump with wigs and suits and pillows in their suits and whatever. It was really cool. But I think ultimately it made her feel a little bit warm and fuzzy inside, because she realized like, you're not a villain, dude.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's a great story.
Yeah,
I love that.
Yes, she was definitely a lot of fun. She's definitely a fun person.
Give the power back to the victims. That's what I'm all about.
Yeah,
fucking do that.
Yeah, man, they definitely tried to make her seem like she wasn't something she wasn't. I mean, she's a fucking porn star, for God's sakes, you know, whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
So, right, exactly.
Yeah.
Hey,
So.
sex work is real work, man. I'm all about
It's
that.
true.
Absolutely.
I do not demonize
Support.
anybody for it's
Nope.
not what you do, it's how you do it, you know?
I'm so glad we all feel the same way.
Me too. That's why we're great co-hosts, and that's why we have friends like Chrissy on our show.
Exactly.
Yeah, man.
All
You
have
know,
the same belief systems. And
all right, so we kind of went down a whole bunch of different weird rabbit holes with kids
we sure
and politics
did.
and stuff like that.
That's
but
what we do as bartenders, you know, we have these great conversations.
That's exactly right. It's just like hanging out after work. But we're gonna bring it back around full circle and have everybody wants to hear the website again, to where they can go and purchase tickets for your awesome event, the Coming to America 2 pop-up that's coming up March 4th through 7th. I knew it. I had it right on the tip of my tongue. Tell people where they can go and get that again, Chrissy.
Yes, coming to America popup.shopify.com.
Shopify.com. Coming to America popup.shopify.com. Cool.
Yeah.
Everybody go check that out. Go see your event. It sounds like it's going to be a fabulous, fun weekend in Detroit. People can get out and do something finally.
Right.
Rub elbows with some cool people, but like definitely 6 feet apart. All right.
Yeah,
bring your masks.
No, yeah. Don't hug me. Don't, you know, we can talk for sure.
Virtual hugs.
Bring masks.
Or their little elbow joint, you know.
Yeah, I like the little elbow thing, you know.
Right. The little elbow thing is always dope. You can also find us on Facebook, Coming to America Pop-Up. You can also find us on Instagram, the letter C, the number 2, the letter A, C2A Pop-Up on Instagram.
Perfect. People are going to be able to find you. We wish you the best of luck on this pop-up. I think it's going to be a fantastic couple of nights.
Thank you. Yes, please bring your son.
Huge success. And it's only going to set you up for doing future projects and cool stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so when the next one comes up, promise that you'll come back. Pinky swear.
Yes.
You'll come back on Tales from the Barside and tell us all about it.
Please tell me you'll allow me back. I would love to. Love you guys, man.
You're welcome back anytime. We love you too, Chrissy. And your daughter is adorable.
So adorable.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Lauren, tell our fans where they can send a story to us, please.
If you would like to send us a story about your time working in or hanging out at or doing just anything at all pertaining to bars or the service industry, send us your story. Maybe we'll read it out loud. Who knows? At barsidetales@gmail.com.
Booyah. Those are all the stuff. Thanks again for coming on, Chrissy. We love you and we're wishing you the best of luck. I know it's going to be a fantastic thing. To everybody else, we love you too. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.